beautiful people, tribe of many colors. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Let's invite some good vibes in, some good energy in. All right, just know that before I show up, I take the time to be in a space of love to do this, because we're all showing up with the wisdom that we've learned to share with each other. And I want to make sure that every time I sit here and I talk to you, that I have taken the time to settle and explore the love within myself, right? And then that's shared with the collective. So just know that I take the time to be in love, to show up with love for you, because that's what you deserve. You deserve the best love that life can offer. That should be yours, always. So today, my guide said, label this video after the storm. And I'm like, well, it was a hurricane. It wasn't just a storm. And I'm like, should I use the word hurricane or storm? And they said use the word storm because it more closely relates to what the soul can go through in very stressful, scary, unknown experiences, right? It can feel like an internal storm that, your once very settled self is kind of now, getting tossed up, reshuffled. And those reshuffling moments in life can be uncomfortable, right? Because we know there's big change coming. We know there's shift coming, but I was reminded to remember that the only shift that's worth consuming your energy is your internal shift. That's the shift that is the most important to take notice of. Is how you come out of the experiences you have, right? How you go in is just as important, but once it's wrapped up, once the experience is over, how did we come out of it, right? And I wish I could tell you that, when I heard the storm was coming, that I went to my Zen space and spoke to my guides. And no, I was nervous. I was nervous about this storm because it was freaking huge, okay? And, the first thing that came to my mind was, so much is going to change from this. But the difference in how I would have handled this 10 years ago and how I handle this now is that, yes, there's going to be a big change, but none of it more important than the change that's about to occur within your life internally. The way you are going to open up to a bigger sense of community, of togetherness, of sharing, of looking out for one another. Because when I meditated in this storm, to get my own answers. I felt such a sense of community. I felt and saw all the people praying, um, sending heartfelt wishes to the area. And when I tapped into that, I'm like, oh my God, there is just so much love being put into this event. And when I tapped into the energy and felt that, I immediately just went to calm, because there was no longer this unknown of, am I going to go through this all by myself? Is anybody going to help me? The world is not only changing, it has already changed by the way that people show up for each other. People who, they don't even know you. They don't know you. You know, maybe they've just met you, but they're going to just show up for you when you need them. And that's the miracle at work here, right? Is that when we start to focus on the experiences we're having instead of the experiences others are saying we should have, you start to realize there's a lot of loving people in your life. There's a lot of loving people there to help you, to guide you, to make you laugh, to help give you adventures, to make you think, you know, to trigger you, to make you angry. We're all here to do that for each other because that's how we learn, right? And this storm triggered anxiety in me. And what I did with that anxiety was I faced it head on. How did I do that? I went out there into the storm with my dogs and I watched them to see what they would do. And as the winds were kind of whipping up and blowing us and pushing us back, they just turned their face to it and just held their head high, you know, just catching, you know, all the information that's in the wind. And it encouraged me to do the same thing. And I faced it. And I breathed deeply. And I allowed myself to have my own personal experience with this versus, you know, the experience the news or other people say, oh, this is how you should behave. I allowed my higher self to inform me about that present moment. And in that moment when I did it, it just felt like a complete connection to nature. And it's like I knew exactly why the storm was here for me. Right? Within myself, I knew what I was going to have as an experience from this. And the experience I had was this. As the storm was coming closer and closer, my shoulder started hurting, my left shoulder. And I went to, it just occurred to me that the wisdom kind of came into my mind that everything is energy, right? So there's a purpose and a reason for the pain in your left shoulder. And I went to a website I found. I'll try to link it in the video. And when I went to the website and I kind of typed in spiritual meaning of pain on the left side. And I went to the website and I read it. I actually found a website. I was shocked by that because usually websites don't pop up for me with such a very specific search, you know, or anything spiritual. It gives you just a whole bunch of sites that don't energetically feel like there's truth there. But I found this one, and it talked about the need to balance the energy and to kind of dig deeper into things that were being suppressed, or maybe there was anger being held on to. So there was an entire link to pain in the left side having a lot to do with the right brain. And when I read that, it just pinged this truth to me in the moment. And I just automatically knew what it was. Because here's the thing, you tell yourself as you're going through these experiences, right, that you're over certain things, that, you've moved on from hurt and pain, or that, oh, this is somebody else's problem, I'm not going to let it bother me. But there's you saying that, and then there's you saying something else. Sometimes the deep part of us that's saying something else is saying, hey, this still hurts me. This still causes me pain. This still causes me anger. I'm still consumed by thoughts of this. It's like I haven't really let it go. And when we really start doing the work within self, we get into all those little corners where that little information is just tucked away deep, deep somewhere, you know what I mean? About the little hurts and things that are still there. The ones we don't want to acknowledge to ourselves. And in that moment, I knew I had to acknowledge that. It didn't feel big to me, that it was something I felt like I needed to acknowledge immediately. But Spirit guides within my soul said every little thing, every little part that doesn't belong, let it go. It doesn't matter if it's a big thing or a small thing. Anything that has the potential to grow and become a disturbance in your life, let it go. And that's what I was being asked to do. And even though I thought that was a small thing, I was being encouraged to let it go. And then when I tapped into it and released the pain and released the hurt and released the anger, it was just a weight lifted off my shoulders that I didn't even know I had. Right? Sometimes we don't even know or feel the weight anymore. We've just kind of gotten used to it. So this was a reminder for me, no matter how big, no matter how small, work it, work your process until you completely let it go. And you will know without a doubt when you do. Because the moment of truly letting go, it's going to change you. It has to change you. Because it was a distortion in your field that's no longer there. And once that's gone, once that distortion is gone, you're going to feel brand new. There's some part of you that's going to feel like it's awakened, it's come back. And you're going to feel love and see love and experience love more deeply with many people. There's just so many people that are going to seemingly just pop into your life at any given moment because you've made room for them, right? And you make room for love when you let it go. So this storm came through to expand me in a way because there was something occupying space within me that didn't need to be there, and I had to let it go. So I let it go. I cried it out, and I felt okay. All right, sometimes I don't know what we tell ourselves about what's going to happen after we do something, but just know when you move through a challenging part of your life and you come out at the other end, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And there's a lot of people who this kind of journey has just begun for them. Some of us, we are in the middle of it. Some of us, we thought we were at the end and then it felt like it started over. For some of us, we've just been going steady. So for some of us, we've been struggling, and we've been struggling to just hold it in, get it together, keep taking the hard path of meeting yourself, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're on the path of meeting self. That's the first union, is the meeting of you within self with your own divinity. That's the first love you meet, right? And that, once joined in that way, it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies love within you. And then as that's multiplied every day, it's radiating from you. It's radiating. It's beautiful. It's in your words. It's in your actions. It's in everything you do. It's in your breath. It's in your smile. It's the greatest thing to see love in a smile, because that's love recognized within, showing itself that way. And that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So wherever we are in our journey, however much this storm impacted everyone, it did. You know, this energy of the storm was not just huge physically, it was huge spiritually. This was a spiritual storm. And it's gonna change everything. There's gonna be so many people seemingly shifted overnight, just changed, and you're gonna wonder to yourself, man, what happened to this person? They're just so different. Yeah, because a massive amount of energy joined in love always changes something. And a lot of people joined in love, and this triggered a lot of light workers to stand in their strength and wake up. And we showed up for each other, and we cared about each other, and we called each other, and we texted, and we laughed, and we say, hey, keep your head up. And we encouraged, and we inspired, and we motivated, and that all combined together, impactful change. Beautiful change. This shifts people quickly. So be prepared to look at things differently. Be prepared to fall in love again. Be prepared to start dancing, painting, traveling, forgiving, completing all those projects you thought you're just sitting there, you can't complete them. You're going to be given the time, the space, the energy to do that, because we all need to be where we were destined to be, so that we can show up for each other. And this is the time, this is the moment for mass awakening and mass connecting. And when you are now being pushed to go into the area that you really love, when you're now being guided and given your signals, your signs that this is the time to move into what you really love, take that opportunity and be a part of this. Show up for yourself, heal yourself, and know that there are other healers working on themselves that are going to show up for you. And when the healing energy is combined, there is nothing that cannot be changed. Absolutely nothing. That's the power of love, and that's the power of healing. It changes everything. So be in that spirit, and let's continue to give our love to those who need it, and our time. If you're not in a position to give financially, just give your time to anyone you know who can use it, who can benefit from you showing up for them. Just keep showing up. And you're not worried about how they receive it or can they receive it. Just show up for yourself. And when you show up for yourself, you show up for someone else anyway. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. It's coming right back to you. Love you guys. Bye.